Hey, welcome back everyone to the Mutually Assured Destruction podcast. My name is Sharif. With me is...
I'm Josh.
And our special guest, Eli. Yo, what's up?
What's going on? I have to remember that we have to see the audio, not the visual.
Yeah, it's all going to be audio.
So I'm going to wave and then it's
Speaking of audio, I'm sure everyone listening has probably heard the new song now, because we play that as our intro.
Dude, I'm excited. Since Josh, you never mentioned a word about him. Then this came up, and I was like, you know dudes like this?
Dude, I know for a fact I've played his music in front of you before.
You might have. I got goldfish brain. but dude, I went through and like listened to your whole discography, and I was like, all this fire, all of it.
I appreciate it.
Like, legit,
thank you.
Though.
Yeah.
And he made our intro.
Yeah, that was actually really, really fun because I had worked on a podcast recently, an intro theme, and that was a new process just because it's like I'm making a song, but it's not like a song specifically driven for me. It's like another person's vision. It'd be like painting someone for something for someone.
Right, and you did it hella quick too. Like I was not like Josh is like, hey, I got a friend and he's gonna make this dope track for us and it's gonna be awesome. And I was like, all right, we'll have him on for like podcast time. He's like, no, it's done right now. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude,
so go on.
I know because you sent us the official like finished version of the intro like 2 days ago, I think.
Right.
I've just listened to it in my car just like maybe like 20 or 30 times already.
Same. I've just been playing it on repeat, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, this is where I'm gonna cut this part. This part's gonna be the intro. This is where we're gonna have the outro. Like this is where it's gonna fade in. I'm just so excited about it.
I'm glad you guys liked it.
Oh, dude,
no,
we love it.
I was like, when I sent the first one, I was like, I'm gonna send this, and they're gonna be like, yeah, this is good, but this isn't really what we're looking for.
No, I like it because it's you. Like, it's your music, but at the same time, it's, like, made custom for us.
Yeah.
Like, it's exactly what I wanted. It's essentially, it's a perfect collaboration.
It's you with a hint of us.
It's you with a hint of us. Speaking of you with a hint of us, I don't know who you are. We're total strangers. This is the first time we're ever talking. What's up, man?
Nothing much. Hi, I'm Eli. How's it going?
All right.
So quick background, probably. So Elijah, we met freshman year of high school, which was probably 9 years ago now.
At this point, 8 or 9, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, almost 10 years.
Yeah, going on a decade.
Oh my God.
See, this is great because this is where I get my revenge, because you've been stealing all my high school friends, and I don't know a single, like, I know by proxy people you went to high school with, like I follow them on Twitter, or like I know them through this and that. Eli's gonna be my new friend. Eli's my new Asha. I'm stealing him.
You bitch.
You don't get to make this choice. You've taken like 20 of my friends. Like,
No, I didn't take them. They took me.
Either way, it's uncanny. Like, Eli, you don't know this, but, like, it would be weird if Josh wasn't at our high school reunion at this point, because he knows, like, everyone from my graduating class. And it's so weird because I see them hanging out on the regular or having, like, interactions in real life. And it's like, I've never hung out with him while he's hanging out with them. Like, he knows them totally separate of me. And it's just two people I've known for, like, 6 years now, just interacting on a non-me basis, and it sucks.
Dude, I think
you got to stop it.
I think the best one though was when I hung out with Corey, because he's in LA now, but he just moved there from Phoenix. Yeah, and he came back here, and you hadn't seen him in how many years?
I hadn't seen him in 5 or 6 years at that point.
And you still haven't seen him?
I still haven't seen him.
And I saw him like last summer. I just hung out with him.
Yeah, you guys had fun.
Well, ironically, Josh, that's happened with you and Troy before, where I was like, hey, Troy, you want to go hang out? He's like, I'm at Josh's.
Cool. See, I know Troy by proxy. I got Troy on Twitter. Like,
but we hang out on Discord all the time too. So like, you've actually had real conversations with him. What I'm scared of is your interactions with my friend Andrew on Twitter.
Which Andrew?
Yeah,
the same
Andrew. Our Andrew.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but it's such a mess, and I love it because we have regular interactions. And I've never met the dude. I don't know what his face looks like or what his voice sounds like. But like that's the type of thing I love.
Their
like,
faces are in my room, actually.
Oh shit! Hey, don't show me. We keeping the secret. All right, hold on. On that topic, speaking of keeping things secret, Regina, never seen her face. Totally betrayed us. Gave away Justin's address to me, and then totally just told him about it. Ruined the surprise whatsoever. Josh, do you remember what I sent her?
Yes, I remember what you sent her.
She's going to get it. So she's going to have it by the time this podcast came out. But just as a little like...
Hi, Regina.
Hey, what's up, Regina? Also, shut up, Regina, you little child. You little, dumb little child. Okay.
I think that counts as child abuse. She's like 10 years younger than you.
If we talk about her enough, Chris Hansen's going to break through the door and arrest all of us. Like,
shout out to Chris Hansen.
What's she, like 18 or something?
What has Chris Hansen been up to?
Yo, he ain't been working out. I'll tell you that much. I don't want to talk too much on the dude, but he's been he got a little something now. He kept his face. He still got a good looking face, but he's still fighting predators. I don't know if you've seen, but he's got an internet series now.
That makes sense.
Wait, he does?
Hansen versus Predator.
I have not seen that.
You haven't seen that?
No.
What a name.
Oh my god.
He's arresting creeps.
Wait. I'm imagining it as like him just beating the crap out of these guys.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought when that title came out, I'm like, oh my god, did Hansen get buff? Are they going to throw him in the octagon with these child molesters?
Well, that should be a series, just like random MMA fighters versus child molesters and pedophiles and whatnot.
He's going to have a catchphrase. He's going to hit him for 1-2, and they're going to go down. He'd be like, why don't you have a seat? And then that's it. That's going to be the episode. It's going to cut to black and be like, next week, Hansen versus Predator.
See, I'm just imagining they find the people he fights by just going online to like the registry, like of everyone that lives in like a 5-mile radius of you.
I mean, in fairness, I feel like everyone knows at least 10 potentials. Whereas like if the news came out, you're like, man, if I had a little more evidence, probably would have helped prevent that.
No, there's definitely some people right now that were like...
there's definitely like 15 out of our graduating class where I'm like,
Yo, your class... All right, Josh just told me some of the... What's wrong with y'all? What have you been up to? Like, I got murderers in my class, but y'all just got, like, some real weirdos for sure.
Well, I tell people all the time, you definitely is a special school, and it definitely recruits a lot of bright young men. And bright young men usually, I want to say a solid 3 out of 10. You should watch. You should put on some form of a watch list.
Yeah, you got to look out for a good chunk of them. It's more than you would think.
Like they're
smart for their own good.
After 6 years of going to that school, I realized I went to school with a lot of like real life geniuses, and geniuses usually tend to be crazy. So there you have it.
Yeah,
I get that. No, that makes sense. I don't have to worry about that where I came from. It's like everyone's thinking on that level. Like most people right now, they're changing your oil or like they work at your local HR office. Like one's out there doing some real.
That seems to be the irony because I don't know if Josh has looked like as some of the people from our graduating class, but not everyone's doing as great as I thought they would be.
Like I don't want to like talk shit about people we went to school with, but there were definitely people that peaked senior year of high school.
Oh, of course,
and
definitely for sure.
They just fell.
Yeah. No, you don't understand how many people I got that I know that still reminisce their high school years. Like that should never be the case. It should you should look at high school fondly and you should be like, oh, that was a good time. But I still know people. It's like
where it's all they talk about.
Kind of old. And they're like, all they talk about is their high school football career, or they're like, take me back. It was simpler times. It was so much fun. It was like, bro, you haven't been moving up? What are you doing?
See, like, that's one of the things, like, Elijah, you can probably, like, attest to, like, some of the people that are like this. Because, I mean, for me especially, like, for the first year after we graduated, I still went back to a few times. We should probably beep that out. I went back a few times, to just like, hand stuff off to like old teachers and like just hang out with like some of my old friends after class because if I was in the area when they're just hanging around the campus. But after like my freshman year of college, I'm like, I mean, it's just weird if I keep going back. Like,
yeah.
And there were definitely people that still continued to come back, well into college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like on a regular basis. Like coming back once a year or, every few months to like drop something off or like say hi to a teacher.
Right.
I think that's fine. But
I
there were definitely people that came back like maybe once a month, even sooner than that.
Well, that was me. But the difference between me going back that often is when I did theater, I met Dr. Gall's daughters. So I had a good relationship with his daughters. And then that really just helped strengthen the relationship I had with Doc. Mm-hmm. And so my only reason for going was just to go back and talk with him if I couldn't get to his actual house.
Yeah.
See, that's kind of what happened with me. I did theater too. I was in the tech department. And
shout out.
Crew.
Yeah.
Hey!
What about Pit Orchestra, guys?
Get out of here, you damn nerd.
Hey Elijah, remember in the musical junior year when they took everyone's pictures for Pit Orchestra and they didn't put it up until the last performance?
Yeah.
You guys got did dirty.
I felt bad for Pit every year because I never noticed when you guys rehearsed. I don't know if you guys got any sheet music beforehand or anything. I just know that the week of the musical, you guys would get there and it'd be like, all right, let's learn it.
No, we practiced. I mean, we practiced in the band room. All I know is that, who was it? Abbott? Was it Abbott?
Abbott's a menace.
Not a great
went
dude.
To your school?
How many people went to our school?
So our graduating class was like what, 180?
179.
And you guys
178 because we lost.
I mean, the Pit Orchestra was like half of our students, and then they'd have to like hire extra people that like actually do this for a living.
You guys had budget to hire people?
Private school, baby.
Listen,
that's crazy.
All I remember though,
they get millions of dollars in donations yearly. I would hope they have some form of budget.
Yeah.
Bro, we get like $2 in a few box tops. Like, that's
imagining like a school opening, like here's a donation, and it's 2 box tops.
Yeah, Glenn wasn't the most funded. We worked with what we had. Like, I could go on story by story of how weird that school in the winter didn't have heating upstairs. So, like, if it was midwinter, you're like, yes, my classes are downstairs. And it's like, it was a thing of our boiler room was built in the 60s. So they built it on some really big, like, tech. I think the diameter of one of the heating pipes for, like, the water was, like, a 2-foot diameter pipe. So it's like, to replace this system that they built in the 60s when times were good, like post-World War II, would cost a fortune to fix right now. And they're just like, hey, how about you wear a jacket to class? And
oh my God.
That's cool. But it was, no, you guys had a pit. That's crazy. We didn't have our own like theater or anything. We had to go to another high school and we did it, and they had a pit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes more sense. You guys shared a theater.
Not really shared. We rented it.
We rented it. Yeah. It was at a completely different school.
Yeah, it was like, what, 20 minutes away, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's nice. Ours was our own, but it was only like a 200-person capacity. So it's like no matter how big the show was, it's like you couldn't have too much of a budget because you were just getting 200 seats out of that show.
See, that's the one thing I didn't like. Like, you beep that again.
I got you. I'll do it, Josh. You don't have to keep saying beep. I'll beep when you say beep.
Yeah, my official home address is 2-3. No.
Hey, my social security. Oh no, God.
You're not Jason. Stop. All right, no, but so our high school, they had this problem where I think they definitely put so much more emphasis on STEM and like math and science than they did with actual like fine arts programs and performance.
Absolutely.
Where it's like they dumped how much money into that new engineering and like science wing and then the band room?
$16 million.
You don't.
And then our band room,
you guys had an engineering wing.
Yeah. We didn't get to use it. We didn't get to use it. Our last 2 years, because it was under construction, we didn't have a science room or a science lab. I had to take anatomy in the kitchen.
All right, but bro, our Bunsen burners were like 2 lighters taped together. Like, it wasn't a good situation.
I dissected a cat on a stove.
Okay, all right, you win on that one. We had real Bunsen burners, but dang, that's kind of ratchet on its own. You got me there.
Wait,
I didn't.
Elijah,
Speaking about what's that smell? The burners.
Elijah, speaking about the auxiliary kitchen at the high school, Ryan Nazareno.
I never saw.
You know how he's in AVC right now?
I heard.
Yeah. So he's put a picture on his Snapchat story of the ceiling in the auxiliary kitchen. Someone taped a picture of Steve Buscemi to it. And I was like, did someone just put that there or did you find it? He was like, I just found it here. I'm like, I taped that up senior year of high school and it's still there.
It's people just now found it.
Yes. A picture of Steve Buscemi has been sitting on the ceiling in the kitchen for, 5 years now? And it's still there, I think. I don't think anyone's taken it down yet.
Dang. Wait, why Steve Buscemi? What's
wrong
I don't know.
With you? I found a cutout of Steve Buscemi's face on the ground. I'm like, I know what to do with this.
So I just... You found it,
Yeah, I didn't print it out. That's too much work.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have anything cool like that. Like, man, you guys had Easter eggs at your school. We just had like...
Oh, you have no idea.
The only time you found things at
tunnels.
Was, like bad things.
We had literal tunnels.
We had tunnels.
Yeah.
We had like post World War II like nuclear missile tunnels. Like it's like
crazy.
Things going bad, go down to the bomb shelter in the basement.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing nowadays is when I tell people, "Where'd you go to school?" and I go, "I went to," and they go, "Oh, you." That's in right there in Detroit, right? I'm like, well, yep. That's where I went for high school, college.
I don't know how we're gonna beep that part out.
Listen, hey, I'll work my magic. Don't you worry.
There's no high school that has a college too.
That's more of a common thing though. Like when my parents realized what school district we were in, like it was too late by that point. I had already graduated, and they're like, "Oh, this ain't no good." So my younger siblings, they tried enrolling them in early college. My little brother has went to Glenn for like 4 years, almost 4 years at this point, and he's never been inside the building. He's just done early college program.
Wait, who?
Ahmed.
Really?
He's been doing early college since freshman year of high school.
Oh my God.
He takes all his classes at Eastern. And I was like, I would be so mad if I was these kids. Like imagine looking to your left and seeing like a 13-year-old taking notes. I'd fight him on the spot.
Dude, Elijah, do you remember I think his name was Peter? He was a freshman, I think, when we were seniors, and he was taking Calc 2 at U. That really hurt my ego. That hurt my ego.
So this is what I meant when I had to realize that I went to school with literal geniuses.
Yeah.
And I was not one of them.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm smart or anything, but it's definitely a big fish, little pond scenario.
Yeah.
I know. Like,
it's
like, hey, do you know how Sharif's doing? It's like, oh man, I heard he didn't murder anyone again this week. They're like, good on him.
It's like, wow, he's doing great.
He's doing great.
No, but for like me at least, I know I didn't do terrible in high school, but like I wasn't great. Like looking back, so I think I graduated with like a 3.0, but compared to everyone else we went to school with, I had a horrible GPA.
3.0 being horrible.
Like the average, I think, from our graduating class was probably like what, a 4 point.
Jeez.
Someone's calling my name in my house.
That's not what, Josh. That's not how average works. That means that everyone got a 4.0.
Except me.
Except you.
No. See, the thing is, because a lot of people had a higher than a 4.0.
Yeah, that makes your assumption that everyone had to get a max of 4.0. No, there were people who had higher than a 4.0. Those AP credits did a lot.
We had like 3 of those people.
Oh, we had so many.
We had a few. We had quite a few.
We had a lot. It really hurt.
And this is what I tell you, is like, mind you, this school's already college preparatory, so it already stems a level of challenge, and these people are overachieving at the challenge. We're going to go different places in life.
Josh, I can't believe you did all that just to be hanging out with me.
I know. You no idea how often I think about that, where I'm like, I went there, and I'm friends with you.
Well, I mean, Jeff is definitely not with any normal people.
I forgot about him. Oh my God.
He's the only, he went all alone, went to Princeton, all alone.
Jeez.
All by himself.
Still,
that's a pretentious asshole.
Cool.
Yo, Jeff, if you're listening, you are the worst, most pretentious asshole I've met in my life, and I've met far many more people since high school.
Dang. Josh, every day you meet me is a constant L. Like I just.
Well, I'm not going to meet you anymore. You're out in Boston.
I can still ruin things from you from afar.
I've Boston?
Yeah.
Plenty.
Like you mailed me these stupid animals.
Here's my big question: who are like the biggest celebrities out there? Like the most
like we got Eminem, right, in Detroit.
Yeah, like we have Eminem, Big Sean mostly that we get accredited for. Sometimes we'll get what's the one lady that's from Huntington Woods? I always forget her name. She was in The Good Place.
Wait, the main character?
Yeah.
Wait, she's from Huntington Woods?
Yeah.
What?
The white lady
place in Boston?
No, it's Philly, isn't it?
Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Philly.
I'm about to get roasted from everyone here. Here's the thing. I'm a Michigan kid. I don't know Boston area.
Are you from Boston or are you from Michigan?
No, I'm from Michigan. I grew up in the Westland area.
Westland.
Wasteland.
Oh. Well,
right next door to Inkster. It's kind of the level we're hitting on here.
Yeah.
Speaking about Westland, the bike shop that I'm working at, our location right
Kristen
now.
Bell, that's her name.
Oh yeah. I didn't know she was from Huntington Woods.
Dang, I'm gonna have to bleep so many last names. I think we're gonna beat a record.
No, she's an actor.
A celebrity. She's an actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because this whole episode, y'all have been talking about people like that you know in real life. I'm like, I don't know if they want their full names on here, so we just going to cut that out.
No, but where was I going? So Westland, the bike shop location that I'm at right now is in Westland. You already know how many times people from Westland call our store a bike shop. They go online, get our phone number from our website, and they ask me, "Do you guys sell bikes?"
No, we sell tampons.
Like, no. We sell watermelons.
That's dumb as hell.
Dude, my favorite one, this dude called, and he's like, so I bought a bike from you guys like a little over a year ago. I haven't used it once yet, and it's been sitting in my garage. Why are my tires flat? Shouldn't that not be a thing? I'm like,
are you asking me a physics question?
I
don't know.
I'm not in Michigan anymore, so I feel like I can't talk shit about it like that. But there really is something in the water.
I feel like that means the reason you can. Yo, no, okay, listen. Flint has been an entire 7 years now. And Flint
it's been 7 years now. My God.
Yeah, bro, that little girl went and grew up. Like she an adult now.
I would just say, like, I literally could have gone through the academy plus a year of college in the time that they've had.
They're right now. Listen. The minute that they found lead in the water, they started sending people through college who are gonna fix the problem. They're like, all right, well, we don't got the right people right now, so we might as well educate them.
I mean, well, let's think about this, right? This started in 2014. How different were things in 2014? Obama was president. Let's start with that.
Since then.
We've gone through
Snyder
two presidents
was still
now.
Our governor back then.
Yep.
Man. Sharif, what did you call him a few episodes ago? Andrew?
Listen, I didn't care much about who that dude was until he did the things he did, and then after he left, I didn't even know what title he had. I just knew that everyone was angry at him for like all the right reasons, but I didn't know that he was governor, and I didn't know that like Whitmer took his place. Like I thought they were two totally separate entities. I didn't realize it was the same office.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's that whole thing's a mess. I'm glad I'm away. I probably shouldn't be away from Michigan because I think it's driving me a little crazy. Like I don't know. I feel like the cloud of the Great Lakes is finally like it stopped holding me back. So now I'm doing real weird shit all the time.
Yeah,
like, all the time.
Like making a podcast.
Yeah, I made cheese the other day. I didn't make cheese. I remade cheese.
What do you mean remade cheese? Do you take a bunch of cheese scraps, melt them in a pan together into a square?
Is one thing. Remaking cheese is like a whole new process.
Oh my God.
Is that what you did?
I didn't want to listen. All right, the closest grocery store to me is like a mile away. That's too much.
Oh no! A mile.
So I didn't listen. I was like, man, I had pickles and I had Arabic bread. I had Arabic bread and I had Arabic pickles, and I was like, I could use a block of sharp cheddar right now. That's like a 3-piece combo. That's it. Didn't have a block of cheese. I had all that shredded cheddar from when you came over, Josh.
It's been over a month.
I haven't eaten that. I don't eat cheese like that. Why'd you buy 2 bags?
You bought 2 bags.
Dang, I did buy 2 bags. Anyways, I had these bags, and I was like, "There's no way I'll just reblock them." So I turned them in. I wonder if I can play. I filmed it. I wonder if I can play the video without interrupting the audio. I'll slide it into the YouTube video.
You should do it.
Let me see if I can. If I play it, is it gonna cut? No, it doesn't cut my audio. Okay. Here we go. I figured if I'm gonna make cheese, I might as well film it. So let me.
Are you just gonna cut the video into right here?
Yeah, I'll cut it in right here. This is no longer an audio podcast. This is now a video podcast.
We should probably just mention: do not try this at home.
It was okay.
Anything Sharif does, you shouldn't try it at home.
Yeah.
Right. You guys got a view of my screen?
Why is it called Final Cut?
It's a cheese pun. I made a cheese pun. It was a cut. All right. I audioed over as well. Hey, today I'll be showing you.
How are you holding the camera?
Don't worry about it.
How are you holding the camera?
Don't worry about it. Fridge, grab some butter.
Sharif, is this on your phone?
No, this is on my DSLR.
How are you holding the camera?
Hey, listen.
Is it
don't
just
worry
hanging off
about
your
the
neck?
details. Listen, I made cheese. That's all we got to focus on. Then you're gonna
CPR
just to make sure it's doing all right, staying alive.
You just microwaved it? You just nuked the whole thing?
Listen, it's all about the process, not whatever. It's not the journey.
5 minutes.
And then you wait.
Oh my god, you stood there for 5 minutes.
Relax. No, it's 1 minute. Okay, cheese is ready. Watch out. Those fumes will get you. Oh, you blacked out. Cheese fumes. They'll really get you. Get yourself back up. Get to making that cheese. Forget where you put it. Realize in a fugue state, you put it in the fridge. Good thinking. Thinking ahead.
What is wrong with you?
On out. Now it's ready to serve. So get a plate. Give it.
Dude, you're gonna shatter that.
Oh, the sound when it hit the plate.
You made a cheese tortilla. That's what you made.
Hey,
quick little
don't
snack.
disrespect
Take a bite. Enjoy.
There you go. I made cheese.
All right, bye.
You made a cheese tortilla.
I made art is what I made. So Eli, you gotta. Eli doesn't realize what kind of show he's been invited to. It's just now dawning on him.
Well, no. Josh, I think, can speak very, very truthfully. This is a tame me.
All right. Well, we're going to have you turn it up to 10 because we don't accept that around here.
Well, I mean, if there's mutually assured destruction, we can get to the hot topics really fast.
Hey, you said the name. It's like when they do it in the movie. It's me, the Dark Knight, Rise of the Dark Knight.
Shut up.
Okay, here's my question. I pose this question to Josh. Do you trust the government?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, that was the question. That was like the whole thing?
Yeah. No. No.
All right, that's a good question.
Like,
I trust.
The way I see it, you can have good politicians with good intentions, but the minute they step foot in office, there are things they have to do to maintain what they have and what they want to do. They need to make compromises, and that's not always going to be the best.
So does that mean you don't trust certain politicians, or do you not trust?
I don't trust government as a whole. Like I said, there are good politicians, but our government is so screwed up that it takes good politicians and screws them up.
So do you trust government as an idea?
Oh.
Are we talking like, do I want government or do I want like anarchy?
Do you want like a structured system of
not even what do you want? Do you trust the idea of a government?
I think in an ideal situation, yes. I would trust it. I don't trust ours.
I disagree. Every man for themselves.
Does that mean you trust people less than you trust ideas?
I trust what less than ideas?
People.
Yes.
Don't
Have you met us? Have you met us?
But don't ideas come from people?
Dang, I had an idea. Do you see how that turned out? I made cheese, but you're not really making a good
I thought you were talking
point
about your idea to kill all babies.
No, hey, we're over that. Listen, that's an old podcast. We're moving forward. We're making cheese now.
We're bringing this back to episode 1.
Oh, we're making cheese. That's all that matters. Let's not mention the babies or any points Sharif made about them.
Which point would that be? Can you remind me so I don't bring it up?
He said, and he quote, he will pile 8 million dead juveniles.
You don't gotta quote me directly, but yes. But at the same time,
okay, you have to think about this. What is the actual purpose of a baby? Like, what used to be African?
No, he's got a point. What do they do? Listen, they don't pay.
You're right. They don't contribute anything.
Hear me out. Think about how grave an investment a baby is. Like, we don't have 100% control over this person, so we can birth this person.
Yeah, it's a huge investment. They're a huge risk.
Our genes, and then they can turn out and go shoot up a store in Colorado.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward.
Is it? I feel like it's high risk and uncertain reward.
Okay, wait. Hey, actually, who's getting the reward though?
The person. So you lose either way.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm trying to think like Sharif with your family though. Your parents had a bunch of kids. You have all your siblings, and that's a big reward to them when you guys all move out and get full-time jobs.
But you're forgetting they had me, so that's a downside. There's negatives. There's always a bad risk.
Ignoring you.
Yeah.
It's good because then they're taken care of when they retire.
Yeah, that's true.
They'll still have an income coming from you and your siblings. You know, giving them money. They'll have a place to stay. They don't have to worry about anything. You're gonna take care of them.
Back to Eli's original point. This comes back to what's the point of babies? Because I definitely sapped more money away from them than I'll ever be able to give.
I mean, you're making a good point. All they do is just cry and shit themselves. They contribute nothing to society other than stuff into landfills.
Points, annihilate all babies. We don't need babies. We can be a babyless society. Let's just have. We'll just make full-grown men.
Yeah, I was gonna say why can't people just be born fully grown? Is that not a? Can we do that,
bro?
I'm a bioengineer. I can figure it out.
You should incubate people.
Incubate people? What do you?
Yeah.
What do you think pregnancy is?
I just Winter Soldier that shit. Like put them in an incubator.
I just got done watching that too before I came on here.
Just stick them. It sounds like you're sticking them in an oven. Just wait till it's done. Put a timer on for 20 minutes, 400 degrees.
Here's my thing, right? If you go with the idea of let's just birth people at let's say 25. Sounds like a fair age, right?
But they're technically born at 0.
That's what I mean. The first thing you now have to reconsider is age of consent laws. Those are new because she can be 25 years in mine, but she definitely was born yesterday.
You really can't set the age of consent down to 1. That'll lead to some bad
things. One day.
I see where you're going with that. That's real dangerous territory.
But the thing is,
carbon dating people.
No, but that wouldn't do anything if it's a fresh person that's just grown to the maturity of a 25-year-old.
But all that, you're talking about magic. I was talking about keeping people imprisoned in like artificial embryos until they were old enough to make good choices.
Oh, you went way more sci-fi than I thought.
I
went more mystical.
No, I went.
I think we're getting into like a whole morality situation. You're taking away like 20 to like 50% of
tubes.
You're taking away like a quarter to like half of someone's life, just keeping them in a tube.
I think they'd get it back. I think they're not doing unnecessary damage to their body. I think medicine's keeping them alive. I think it'll raise the average age.
Doesn't that also alter the personality type because all of the childhood like experiences and growing that they were supposed to do
you'd get this quote unquote 25-year-old person who's going to be shitting themselves and can't talk. You just get bigger babies.
Yeah, especially 25 years in an artificial embryo, you're definitely not walking when you get out of there.
Man, I guess what I'm getting at is we should keep people imprisoned until they're 25. So you know what? Yeah, I trust the government. I think it works.
The conclusion.
You know, they're already doing that. They're keeping people in prison past 25. I think they're doing a good job. You know, they got the system running. You know, when you come out of prison, you're always a much more mature individual. You got life experience.
You must love Kamala Harris then.
When you go to jail,
she's my idol.
Kamala Harris.
I'm very scared because of the people that I know are watching this now.
I'd like
Who's
to
watching
once
this?
again reiterate that nothing I say on this show reflects my actual thoughts, and everything I say is meaningless and has no purpose. There you go.
Well, I mean, here's where I stand. I think they all are reflective of my thoughts. I think you just misinterpreted what my thoughts were actually thinking.
Are
If
your
you're
thoughts
offended.
thinking, or are you thinking those thoughts?
I didn't think the thought. I had the thought. The thought was thought. I didn't think it though.
I can't think.
Bro, we in the same boat then. We've always been there. I haven't been thinking.
You know what our boat is? Our boat is sinking. There's a massive hole in the hull, and we've got a cup just trying to get all the water out.
If my life was a boat, it's been full blown Titanic for a while now.
But the funny thing is, we have an engineering degree, so we engineered the hole into the hull.
We have
that
three
was by design.
We have 3 engineering degrees between the two of us.
Hey, I think can they repo my engineering degree? Because I feel like that might be a
60% of an engineering degree.
Dang, you might be ruining your reputation by hanging out with us. This is definitely damaging to your brain cells. It's destruction for sure.
Would you say it's mutually assured?
How about I stab you in the leg?
Come back to Michigan. Do it.
Somewhere non-vital so I can see the pain.
Here's the thing.
Big toe.
I literally just watched a show where my girlfriend was trying to figure out how it was possible that someone got shot in the leg and died. And I'm like, well,
I mean, you could bleed out if you get shot in the leg. Yeah. Or it gets infected.
That gangrene, is a
showed
killer.
that in a show. Because
Snowfall?
that's pretty good. That's pretty good on a show to have that level of realism. Most shows, it's like he got shot 7 times, but the bad character died, so he'll be all right.
Well, that's going to happen regardless. Here's the thing: any kind of cinematography you will see, even if you find the best one, it's going to have some level of realness, and there's definitely going to be some things where you go, "That's just not accurate."
Yeah. No,
you know which show I love that is just absolutely so realistic and accurate. And I'm not at all being sarcastic.
What the fuck are you about to say?
Grey's
Looney
Anatomy.
Tunes.
Dude, my favorite show is B-Boss.
Dude.
There's unrealistic
The
aspects of that.
Oh, I've always told people Rick and Morty is the most realistic show because it doesn't have to be real at all.
Yeah, you got a point.
It's a literal science show that's making up its own theories of science. So the second you do that, it's like, well, everything's out the window, and this is the most
you know what else
realistic and
makes up
accurate
their own
thing you got.
science, but tries to actually make it sound logical?
A lot of superhero things.
No. Specifically Ant-Man, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, they just
I know it's gonna be super. I'm
like,
like, it's definitely gotta be superhero something.
yeah, anytime it's like, how did you teleport? It's like, how did you teleport? It's like, oh, I went between the atoms. It's like, you can't say that for everything. That doesn't fix every problem. You can't go between all the atoms. It just doesn't work like that.
I love how in the first one though, they explain the science behind why he can shrink, and they're like, oh, we're just decreasing the space between molecules. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like, I don't think you could actually do that.
Right.
But it makes sense.
And
then he's like, I'm going to be smaller than a molecule. And I'm like, no, you can't.
Well, I can't do that.
It's like, but you're molecules.
But I guess the reason like Marvel and DC get away with it is because it's like the scientific meets the mystical. So I assume at that point, it wouldn't just be like, oh, he shrunk smaller than a molecule. It's like, okay, there's some kind of property here that allows him to transform.
What just really pissed me off, though, was
phases.
it was the second Ant-Man, when every other word in that script was quantum.
Yeah, well, because they had to set up Endgame.
Yeah, but they
had to quantum set up quantum Endgame.
They explained away every problem they had with quantum physics, and it didn't even make sense.
Like they literally even address it. They address it in the movie. At one point, Scott Lang goes like, "You guys just put quantum in front of everything, or what?"
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it was. Like, there was never really any points where they even explained quantum physics in the slightest. Like,
I think if they tried to explain quantum physics to like the audience that watches Marvel movies,
well,
that's the other
75% of it. They know that there's only going to be like a 5% bulk of people who genuinely are understanding the science that is being spoken as they speak.
Oh, no, not even.
Okay, so without getting into it too much, because once again, we don't, I think is Google's quantum computer that they've been bragging about for so many years, is it actually using quantum technology, or is it Ant-Man where they're just throwing the word quantum in front of anything? Because Ant-Man. It's not a proven theory.
Ant-Man. It's Ant-Man.
They're Ant-Manning it? Because I was going to say there's no way their quantum computer runs on quantum science, because that would literally prove the existence.
I literally just watched a video where they said they had a $10 billion telescope that can see back in time, and I go, that's just a whole bunch of heaping louder bullshit, and I have to click on this video now because that doesn't make any sense. I'm sure
don't all telescopes look back in time?
Yeah, because momentarily.
All telescopes look back in time because all the light we're seeing is from millions of light years away.
Light years away. That's why once they started explaining, I was like, oh. Well,
so it's just a $10 billion light scope. There's nothing special about it.
So misleading of a title.
Hold on, Josh. Your dad is calling. 1 second.
Is it Thomas Wayne?
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, what's up? Hello?
Hey, Sharif. Dave.
Hey, what's up, Dave? Did we continue, or am I going to cut something?
Just cut all that out.
Okay. That was a perfect personification of what it's like knowing you. Is I would get off work I worked for Josh's dad, Dave, for like 4 years. I interned for him. I would get off work, and then I'd go talk to Josh, and then I'd come back home and do more work for Josh's dad. So it's just constantly...
Wait, why did he call you? Because he just walked into my room like a minute or two ago, and I waved him out. I'm like, I'm busy.
I saw that. That was more than a minute or two ago. Your perception of time.
No, that was a minute before he called you, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He probably knew we were on a call then. He probably just wanted to know what's up.
Time is an illusion. Time is not real.
No, he's sending me...
You're how many hundreds of miles away, and can you stop intruding in my life?
I can't. Dude, I think through the entirety of college, I was always... at some point in the day, either talking to you or your dad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there was a single point in the last 4 years
where you were awake.
I don't think there was a single day where I wasn't talking to you or Dave. And I think that still continued till today.
All I'm going to say is I have your dad's phone number now. I can...
Oh, no. This is a terrible... You will have no common grounds with my dad.
How much we hate you. Hey, how much we hate you.
Hey, Sharif's dad, what's up? And he'd be like, have you heard about the latest atrocity? It's like, there's no
if I'm not mistaken, isn't the latest atrocity the grocery store shooting?
I'm sure there's been another one recently.
If I'm not wrong, there was the
13-year-old boy who was killed by the police in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to him. And
wait, no, and you guys saw the... I think it was the 65-year-old Filipino woman.
That's old. That's old. That was like a week ago, Josh.
Yeah, that was after the Colorado thing, though. But like she was just beat on the sidewalk, and the security guard just closed the door. I'm like, what the hell,
bro? People be weak-willed. Like, disregarding any of the situations. I'm not talking about the lady who got beat up. I want to clarify that real quick. I'm talking about... I think Eli jumped to a conclusion.
And this is why I trust ideas and not people.
Right.
Whatever stance that was with, that was just kind of wild.
I really should have clarified. I don't think the lady who got beat up was weak-willed. I'm calling out the security guard here. It's like, you see someone getting jumped, you just gonna stand there?
I mean,
especially when it's your job. Especially when it's your job.
That kind of raises me to like where I've gotten with these debates is I think a lot of people have yet to address fully that most of us were raised very differently and brought up very differently.
Yeah.
Like one of the questions I have for the both of you, right? Because Josh is clearly a Haitian man and you're clearly white.
Yep, exactly.
Very much so.
How different was... How different was where I was going to say where, and then I wanted to switch.
Well, Josh was raised an asshole who can't let anything slide.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. How different was America taught to you all growing up?
You know that meme that went around of the history book with the Egyptian pharaoh and just a white dude? That's like the entirety of it.
Yeah.
That's the entire... like,
it's so whitewashed. And another thing like that I learned recently, like within the last year or two, was the United States, like the war they had with the Philippines or in the Philippines. They don't talk about that in the history books because they lost.
Yeah.
Horribly.
Yeah.
They just wipe it out completely.
Out of here, Asha. We're podcasting.
Hi!
No, she's not even gonna be in the audio track. All right. She sounded so embarrassed, and I wish we had that captured. Oh no. No, we're gonna ignore her for now. No,
yeah, I forgot to move us into the closed server.
That's pretty funny. That's your fault. That's entirely your fault.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, there's people in here. Hi guys."
That pretty much explains knowing Asha.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's so funny being. Our school was 2,000 people. It's such a funny experience being the only Muslim in the entire school of 2,000 people. Like there were Albanian Muslims, but for reasons we're not going to get into, they're not really practicing Muslims. A lot of Albanians has to do a lot with communism and a lot of old history.
Right.
But I was the only practicing Muslim who knew like Muslim things and what to talk about. It was so funny taking the religion course, like world religions, because all the stuff they had written in there was whack. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe any of this. They're like, the Muslim God is the Prophet Muhammad. And it's like, he's the Prophet and the God? And it's like, they're like, it was like totally factually inaccurate stuff. It's like, Islam is the youngest religion. It was only made like 800 years ago. And it's like, where are you getting your facts from, sir? Everyone knows it's way older than that.
Wikipedia. Actually, I think Wikipedia would be more accurate.
Wikipedia definitely has a higher rate of accuracy than textbooks because all of it was wrong. I was sitting there and I was like, every day in that class, I was correcting the teacher. I was like, no, Muslims don't do that. We don't believe in that. And she's like, okay, well, I'm the teacher and I'm teaching out of the book. So this is the correct material. And I'm like, well, I'm letting you know it's not. And there's just always this constant back and forth between me and the teachers of them thinking it's right because they have a degree and they have the literature right in front of them instead of me, who's someone who lived the experience. And I think that really speaks out towards America's issues with race and culture, to where they don't understand the issues because they haven't lived it. They've just read about it through textbooks and articles.
Through very whitewashed textbooks and articles.
Yeah, I tell people all the way growing up, like if you teach based on a textbook and you aren't teaching a STEM class, I probably pay very little attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, was it, Elijah, didn't we have a world religions class in high school?
Yes.
I don't remember ever learning about world religions in that class.
You should count yourself fortunate because what we learned was negative learning. It made us dumb.
I would agree. I feel like some textbooks have definitely made me remember something just based off of like seeing it, and then I have taken that to so far in life believing it, and then I've come across people who are like, yeah, that's total nonsense, dude.
Like, what was it? I know I saw this thing a few years ago about like new history books that are being used in like middle schools and stuff, where they're talking about the Trail of Tears, and they're like talking about the Native Americans willingly, left their land and did this. I'm like, no,
everything in America was by choice.
I saw this. I read this article. I read this article the other day about how the South really still doesn't teach people about slavery, which is why the South is so much more ignorant to racial issues. Like, this lady was showing a textbook, and a passage from the textbook said something about the slaves worked all day and they sung happy songs, and only the bad slaves were punished. The good slaves got to live peaceful lives.
Where is this at? If you were a
bad slave, you were whipped. She was showing this textbook from Louisiana. It was published in like 1972 or something, and it's still the textbook they use in their official curriculum right now.
Oh my god!
And they didn't go into the philosophical debate of slavery or the morality of it. They went into the way the slaves lived and tried to compensate for the fact that they were actually slaves by saying that they had some good days where they were able to like eat meals and sing.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, even in college. I was learning stuff that I'm like, this does not portray the full image. I took an art class just to show you how fully ingrained this is. I took an art history class, and one of the pieces we were learning about was a slave painted portrait of a slave wedding in Florida in the 1700s. And it showed slaves holding guns and slaves like dancing to music and all that. and they were trying to portray this as an image of was slavery before it reached its peak, and when there weren't laws forbidding them to own guns and to like have land and stuff. But it doesn't change the fact that they weren't working on their own will or their own accord, even though the class was teaching it from a perspective of, look, happy slaves.
That'd be I feel like those arguments would be the exact, well, not the exact same, but similar if I said, yeah, Anne Frank's life was perfectly fine because she got to lay away in hiding and not have to work a job and do anything. Yeah. And her life was very peaceful. She ate. She ate food.
Played the funnest game of hide and seek. Pretty much exactly what they were teaching. And there's been attempts to romanticize stuff like that. Like there's these movies like showing the good times that Anne Frank had.
There's been some really bad movies to come out to portray stuff like that from World War II and like slavery. Yeah. And people watch it and they just believe it. And like Hollywood is ruining so much because they're putting out so much misinformation.
Yeah. I know it's an old movie at this point and no one really like talks about it anymore. But I think the best movie and the reason it was so acclaimed at the time and something they should definitely show in schools is 12 Years a Slave, because that movie is
great movie
and it's real and it shows that even when he's free, he wasn't free.
That's not that old of a movie, is it?
No.
It's got Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, I was like, that was pretty recent.
Your mic got we can't hear you.
I didn't hit the button. No, I didn't hit the button back again. It's a great film. Michael Fassbender's in it. That's pretty much all I remember. From this black movie, I remembered the white man.
Didn't he get ass beat or something?
Yeah.
He did.
I think with every like very popular or historical African American based film to come across, though, there's definitely like a, hey, watch this one because it's black.
Yeah.
And then like 4 months later, it's like, remember that one black movie?
Yeah.
Like no one talks about Get Out anymore.
No.
Unless you find someone who didn't see it, but even then it's just like, you should watch it, dude. Not like, we gotta go watch it.
Right.
I know like Us didn't even get the same like kind of reaction.
Not even close.
All right, here's the thing. Django Unchained.
I was just about to bring that up.
One of my favorite movies, but at the same time, I'm going to bash it a little. I think people love that movie. I think that movie is so widely loved because it does bend a little bit. It isn't complete. Like, no one's claiming that movie's factually correct. People are bleeding out like 10 gallons of blood every time they get shot.
That's any Tarantino film.
But at the same time, I feel like people remember that film so much more fondly than 12 Years a Slave because one of the protagonists in the show, in the movie, is a white guy who helps the black guy out, and he's full of morality that you wouldn't have found at the time.
Well, I mean, are you telling me that white people like seeing themselves in a positive light?
I mean, we didn't say it, but
no, yeah, I think that's exactly. I think, yeah.
I'm saying that we are assuring
I'm out
destruction.
Here stating the obvious, but I think the reason people love that movie is because the guy helping towards freeing Django and his girl is a white guy. He'll do anything to protect them, which those type of people just didn't exist at the time.
No,
they didn't exist flat out. Like even the what do you call it? Even not the suffragists; those are women. The people who were fighting to end slavery at the time, they were doing it for Christian reasons. They weren't doing it because they were thinking of the well-being of these people. They were
ironic how Christians nowadays are very different.
Yeah, but they were thinking of their well-being in the aspect of Christianity and how God's going to judge them on it. They weren't thinking about the fact that this has something to do with people suffering. So, shout out to Professor Keith Dye from U of M Dearborn, a real one. That dude's a G.
To younger me learning about women's suffrage and thinking, women were suffering. That's the only way I learned about it.
Yeah. And I still got the term wrong. I used it in the wrong context.
No, I mean, suffrage is not a commonly used word, for sure. I think the only time you hear suffrage is if you're referencing women.
In the context of the ERA era. Yeah, I Once again, shout out to Professor Keith Dye. What a G that guy was. He rocked the biggest handlebar mustache I ever saw. Like, he almost looked like a black singer.
Yep, me and Josh did the same thing. We heard the same air raid siren.
Yep. We both took off one of our headphones.
Y'all on the same block, huh?
No, so in the state that we are currently in, every Saturday, first Saturday of the month, they test the air raid siren, and I guess they're doing the same. I hear yours.
That's gonna be in the audio, nice and crisp. I can't wait till everyone else experiences that. We don't. Yeah, I remember that, but we don't. I always lived like right on the edge of all of those, so like it was never a big thing in my life. Like if I noticed it, it was always when I was outside on a Saturday, and I was like, "What is that on the distance?" I'm like, "Oh, right."
Yeah, no, it's blaring. It's like right outside my house.
Yeah, I literally have a fire station at the end of my block. That's what I'm hearing.
Yep.
See, that's different. Well, I've lived in Michigan for 16 years now, and it was always those fires or those sirens were always in the distance of wherever I lived. Like I must have always been right on the edge of how loud they were.
Yeah, I mean, right now where your guys' house is, well, not yours anymore, but your family's. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Families. Yeah, it's great. It's a fun place to be.
Yeah, I'm Boston.
Nah, we're talking about my parents' place back in a city close to. It's in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna have to beep so much. I'm just gonna stop name dropping cities and people and places. Shout out to Professor Keith Dye. But at the same time, at the same time, we live like in the middle of nowhere. Like I gotta walk. Like if I really need to like send a message to someone at certain times, I gotta walk down the street in the middle of a cornfield to like get signal. Like shit's a little desperate out there, but I kind of miss it a little bit. Oh shit! Hey, what are we looking at?
Yeah, was it on the exact opposite end of things though? I'm actually house sitting right now for my cousins. They live in a very very nice neighborhood, not in the middle of nowhere. But I'm also watching their dog for them while they're on vacation.
That's whose dog that was.
Yeah, and I can't go anywhere in that house without this dog following me. I tried to go to the bathroom. As I'm closing the door, it just barges in and knocks the door back. I'm like, hello?
That's a good dog, though. That dog's looking out for you. It's trying to make sure you're shitting and nothing's going to attack you.
No,
that's a good dog.
It's just lonely.
I didn't know that's what dogs do when they stare at you when they poop too either.
No, because
I was like, wow,
it just won't leave my side, and it gets sad when I leave.
No, but Josh, the pooping thing especially, that's dog mentality.
Oh.
That's part of instincts.
Yeah, I know, because like when you're taking a crap,
when
like for
take
dogs,
shit, they always got a wolf watching its back.
Yep, because that's when they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your dog's just watching you shit because it's sad for you.
Yo, so just imagine this, right? Imagine you're a wolf, right? You sit down, you pop your squat, right? You're like, all right, bro, watch my back. He's like, all right. And then all of a sudden, he's like, hey, they're coming. do you sit there and finish and let him hold them off for a second? Or do you try to pinch off? And
it depends what kind of homie you got. Is this homie just going to bolt and leave you there, or is he going to actually fight?
Are you going to get in action? You got to pinch off and get to right to work.
Yo, dogs, all right, like animals, they can pinch off shit pretty clean, right? It must be their diet or whatever they eat.
Is that a fact?
All natural. All natural.
Right?
All natural.
Do animals take messy shits?
Yes.
I don't know.
Animals can get diarrhea.
Birds.
Feed your dog some chocolate and see what happens.
Oh, no.
Not gonna do that. Listen, we're for baby killing, not for dog feeding chocolate. Let's get the.
Have you ever seen?
Not enough to kill it, just enough to just ruin its intestines and see what happens. It's gonna be very upset because dogs don't really indulge in dairy.
Yeah, you know exactly what it's like.
No, but here's what I'm talking about. All animals, like, they don't gotta like clean their assholes or anything. It's just clean every time. Like it's a thing of they pinch off a load and it's never like stuff lingering.
No. There's definitely stuff lingering. Here's the thing, right?
You just don't notice it. Here's
the thing, right? I tell people all the time, most people don't believe me, but you should probably shower after you poop.
No,
because there's definitely leftover anything.
Listen,
in the same way that when a dog is pulling itself over carpet, it's like, listen, didn't get it all.
A dog? That's what I was getting at. Wolf, if it's taking a shit and there's like mid-attack, is that dog just gonna have an itchy ass for the rest of the day because I had to pinch it off real quick?
Probably.
But like, I understand what you're saying about the shower. I've had a bidet the entirety of my life. Like we had one of those. We started
And
like
we went to the tuition school.
Oh, but listen.
I didn't have a bidet. You had a bidet?
No, I'm brown. Of course we had a bidet. That's brown culture.
Yeah, we didn't have a bidet. We just had the tabo.
That's Filipinos
just the
too.
bucket.
Yeah,
just the bucket. We just got the bucket.
You like the watering pot thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Josh, right?
Yeah.
We had get your ass in the shower.
No. Do you have a bidet right now, Eli?
No, I have get your ass in the shower.
Listen, get you a bidet. They build right into your toilet nowadays. It takes like 20 minutes to install. Best decision you'll ever make. I installed mine this week because I moved to Boston. I didn't have, I've been used to having a bidet or some sort of water cleaning my whole life. I haven't had it for the last 3 weeks. It gave me depression straight up. I got one. My life is like 80 times better now. 80 times better. I feel fresh every time. I go to the bathroom. I come out ready to kick someone in the teeth. Hand me a baby. I'll destroy it right now. But I don't know. You don't get the same thing with toilet paper. It's not the same feeling.
No,
I even would try to wet the toilet paper a little since my sink is right next to my my toilet.
If you want to wet your toilet paper, you got to have 4-ply to do that. Otherwise, it's gonna fall apart. Your fingers are gonna go through.
I get the good shit. You don't skimp out on toilet paper. When
never.
it comes to your health like that, you don't skimp out.
I hated it when I was because I didn't use the bathrooms at Lifetime when I worked there. But whenever I'd have to go and replace the toilet paper, I'm just looking at this massive roll of half ply.
Yeah.
I'm just they're gonna have fun with this.
Half ply, bro.
Dude, you hold it, you can see your hand through it.
Yeah.
It's you talking about the industrial
yeah, it's one of those massive rolls that's bigger than your head. Yeah.
It's like toilet paper died and they captured its ghost. That's the best you can come to.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, that's when you just grab the roll and you just that little motion with it really fast.
I thought you were gonna say just grab the roll and just wipe with it.
I've done that before. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Why are you savage like that? Who hurt you?
He had to assert his dominance, obviously.
Listen, I make music, and we are known to do some rebellious things. I just not too long ago helped Kaio, who you might remember or not.
Oh yeah.
I helped him film a fight scene in the bathroom of the DIA.
Oh,
DIA. Man, all right, no one ever talks about Detroit buildings and why they always got the nicest bathrooms. Like Detroit Public, the Henry Ford Museum bathroom is immaculate.
Hey, guess where I work? I guess where I work.
You work at the Henry Ford?
You want some tickets, man? I got you.
What department do you work specifically?
I work for the actual academy, like the school within the museum.
Oh, you wouldn't know her. Do you know?
I know a lot of people who work there.
Peyton.
No, but I've heard of because their names.
They're what?
Their names.
Might cut out. Oh, okay. No, that's one of my friends. Bro, but you know what I'm talking about. If you're from Detroit and you've ever been to the Henry Ford Museum, you know that bathroom. Because you walk in and you're like, this is a nice bathroom. Mm-hmm. This is a real nice bathroom.
Marble everywhere.
Marble everywhere. Bro, you step up to use the urinal because, they didn't build that stuff into the ground. You walk into the Henry Ford bathroom, you remember it.
Dude, that's all I'm saying is one day when I get a house, I don't care how any of the houses, I just need a nice bathroom.
Bro, that bathroom has 30-foot ceilings.
Oh, it does.
I'm gonna do that in my house. I'm gonna have a normal bathroom, but it's gonna have a 30-foot ceiling.
I call it
it's gonna be bathroom size, but a 30-foot ceiling. It's gonna be really weird.
On the first floor, you just have to cut the ceiling out and have it go into the second floor.
My bathroom's gonna go straight up to the attic.
I've found an affinity for watching the mansion tours on YouTube, and
I
was watching one. And there was this house. The way the bathroom was designed is, those pocket doors.
Yeah.
They had a pocket door, but they're kind of on the corner of where the glass was. There were two other doors, and it just kind of looked like a little box. But it was an outdoor toilet, so that the smell never was in the house.
That's an outhouse. That's not
pretty much, but it was still a part of the house. But it was.
You ever had so much money you have no money, so you have an outhouse? That's like so rich or poor.
Well, I mean, they also had 10 other bathrooms in the house, so I was like, we can have one outside. That's the poop bathroom.
Do you remember that picture I sent you of the medieval toilet?
Yeah,
I want to bring those back.
Toilet. The idea.
So essentially, you're on like the second or third floor of like the castle or wherever you're at, and the toilet is just this big chute that just goes down and then curves at the bottom, and then there's someone at the bottom that shovels all the shit out so it doesn't build up. And the whole thing's made of stone and brick. So I'm just imagining if you're up there and you just fart, whoever's at the bottom is gonna give you this loud bang.
You guys remember that movie Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah.
Yo.
You remember the toilet scene?
Yep.
You remember that? That's crazy. Kid literally jumped in shit to get out of there, bro. That's wild. That was essentially a minimalist medieval toilet. Like there's no chute; it just drops.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Dang, I bet you we're kind of making fun of that, but I bet you that's how people did it for generations before America existed.
Probably.
Just like gravity in a hole.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
You know that's how outhouses work? They aren't connected to plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had an outhouse, you just dug a new hole every time it filled up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I bet you those home gardens were fire. I bet you they had the best nutrition.
Every time you move the outhouse, you just plant a new garden next to it.
Yeah, but you couldn't grow any like root fruit. Like you can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Imagine you're like growing cucumbers. You're eating the salad. Like, yeah, that was from my shit garden.
No, cucumbers would be good because that gets processed through the roots. But imagine having like
if the
potatoes.
poop got in the soil and that water traveled through the poop at any point and then got in the cucumber, I'm going to be a new type of.
Bro.
Imagine a cucumber looks like a pickle. You're like, no, that's a cucumber.
No.
You're eating it like
Bro, I got all right. I'm throwing away all my pickles. I can't do this no more.
You're gonna put cheese.
All right, how about this? We're at about an hour. Let's end it there.
Yeah.
Before we go, Eli, you wanna drop a plug?
We're plugging all of it in the bio first. Though,
just drop it in here.
My Twitter is at Hajile de Rellim. Instagram is at Hajile de Rellim.
Follow you right now.
Spotify, Apple Music, everything is Hajile de Rellim. If you want the spelling, it's HAJILEDERELLIM. And if you know how to spell Elijah Miller, then spell it backwards.
Oh, dude, dang, for real?
Dude, you don't know how long it took me to realize that it was just your name backwards.
So 50% of the time, it's someone will come back to me later and go, dude, you won't believe what I realized. Your name backwards. I'm like, guess who realized it first? Me, dumbass.
Dang, that's crazy.
And then the other 50%, as soon as I tell them, they're like, oh, that's cool. It's your name backwards. That's what's cool. I'm like, yeah.
Dang.
It's literally no in between.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was like the H was just silent and your name was Heli.
So here's what I also learned. Different cultures say it way differently because I know I've heard Heli, I've heard Hajile, I've heard I didn't know this word could be pronounced this different many different ways.
That's crazy. Well, we appreciate the music. All the links are gonna be in the bio. So if you don't want to spell shit out, we'll just have it in there for you to click on.
Make sure to check out your new album from Sunsets from Mars.
I'm so hyped about this music, dude. I can't even explain it.
All right.
Cue us out, Josh.
All right, cue the outro music.
Mutually Assured Destruction Podcast. It's us.
Make sure to hit like and subscribe and follow us for more.
Or
don't.
Bye. Stop hanging around. Leave. What are you doing here? Leave.
You hear the music? Do you hear that music?
Oh, I think you would have faded out there.